Awkwardness is a signal, not a weakness. It reveals the gap between your inner and outer alignment. This idea may seem simple on the surface, but it holds a deeper truth about human behavior and self-perception. In many situations, people find themselves feeling uncomfortable, nervous, or out of place, and the immediate response is often to judge oneself, to criticize, or to wish that the moment would pass quickly. But what if we began to look at awkwardness not as a flaw or something to hide, but as a messenger trying to get our attention? What if instead of resisting it, we listened? When you walk into a room and suddenly feel your posture shift, your eyes darting around, your hands unsure of where to rest, your voice unsure of its tone. That's not a random occurrence. That is your body speaking to you. It's saying something is out of alignment. Perhaps your mind is telling you to appear confident, but your internal emotional state is uncertain or insecure. That disconnection between the message your mind wants to project and the feeling your body is experiencing becomes visible to others and palpable to yourself. That is awkwardness. It is a gap between who you think you should be and how you actually feel in that moment. This gap doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means there is a misalignment, and misalignment is an opportunity to learn and to grow. Imagine driving a car where the steering wheel is slightly off-center. The car still moves forward, but there is a subtle tension in keeping it on the road. Over time, that tension builds until either the car is adjusted or it pulls too far to one side. In the same way, your body and mind must move in harmony. If they don't, awkwardness becomes the symptom, not the cause. To transform that sensation, awareness is key. Most people experience awkwardness and then try to fight it. They try to become someone else in that moment. Someone smoother, more confident, more articulate. But pretending adds another layer of misalignment. Now, you're not only misaligned internally, but you're also projecting a version of yourself that you don't fully believe in. This deepens the discomfort and often makes the situation worse. Instead, consider this: what if you acknowledge the feeling without judgment? What if you paused, took a breath, and said to yourself, this is a moment of tension. Something inside me is not yet fully connected with where I am or who I am trying to be right now. That single moment of self-awareness begins to shrink the gap. You're no longer hiding from the sensation, you're understanding it. The more you understand, the less power it has over you. You begin to notice when it shows up. You might realize that certain environments, certain people, or certain expectations trigger that feeling. And rather than avoiding those situations or trying to overpower them with rehearsed behavior, you start approaching them with curiosity. Why does my body react this way? Why does my voice change? Why do I feel small in this room? These are not questions of self-doubt. These are questions of self-inquiry, and the answers lead to growth. Every expert in body language, communication, or leadership has walked this path. They didn't begin as polished, articulate individuals. They began as people who were willing to notice their discomfort and explore it. They looked at awkwardness as a compass. When you feel awkward, it means you care. It means the situation matters to you. It means you're at an edge, and edges are where learning happens. Think of a child learning to walk. Every step is awkward. Every movement is unbalanced. But there is no shame. No child feels embarrassed for falling down. The awkwardness is simply part of the process. Somewhere along the way, we lose that mindset. We begin to associate awkwardness with failure instead of with learning. Reclaiming that mindset allows you to transform every uncomfortable moment into a training ground. One way to begin this transformation is through embodiment. When you feel awkward, instead of disconnecting from your body, move deeper into it. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice your breath. Become aware of the tension in your shoulders, the clenching of your hands, the tightness in your jaw. Don't try to fix it immediately. Just observe. The act of observing brings you back into presence, and presence is the beginning of confidence. Over time, you begin to understand your personal signals. You become familiar with how your body communicates with you. You notice that a racing heart means your mind is anticipating judgment. You notice that slouched posture means you're not owning your space. You notice that avoiding eye contact means you're unsure of your worth in that moment. But now that you're aware, you can respond. You can choose to stand tall. You can choose to breathe deeply. You can choose to make eye contact, not as a performance, but as an act of alignment. This doesn't mean you'll never feel awkward again. Growth is not the absence of discomfort. Growth is the ability to move through discomfort with awareness and grace. Every time you feel that gap and bring yourself back into alignment, you're training your nervous system. You're teaching your body that it is safe to be seen. You're reminding yourself that confidence is not about never feeling uncertain. It is about being present even when you do. So the next time you feel awkward, don't rush to hide it. Don't label it as weakness. See it as information. See it as feedback. See it as a reminder to realign. The most powerful people in the world are not those who never feel awkward. They are those who know what to do when awkwardness arrives. They breathe, they center themselves, they reconnect, and then they move forward with intention. The outer alignment, your posture, your gestures, your tone begins to reflect the inner alignment, your values, your awareness, your presence, and that harmony becomes visible. People feel it. You feel it. That is the moment when awkwardness is no longer something you fear. It becomes something you welcome because it reminds you to come home to yourself again and again. Mastering body language begins with mastering awareness, not performance, but presence. This understanding changes the entire approach to personal development and communication. When people think about body language, they often jump to techniques. How to stand, how to gesture, how to smile, how to appear more confident or charismatic. But without awareness, these techniques are empty. They become performances worn to impress others rather than expressions of inner clarity. True mastery of body language doesn't begin from the outside in. It begins from the inside out. Awareness is the foundation. It is the conscious recognition of what is happening within you and around you in each moment. When you are aware, you can sense the tension in your body. Notice the thoughts racing in your mind. Feel the rhythm of your breath. This awareness grounds you. It gives you the ability to notice, adjust, and choose your response rather than react unconsciously. Without this presence, your body language may mimic confidence but still transmit anxiety. You may smile, but your eyes show fear. You may stand tall, but your energy feels scattered. Presence is not about pretending to be calm or powerful. It is about actually being here. Fully, without distraction, without trying to be someone else. When you are truly present, your body naturally begins to express clarity. You don't have to remember a list of poses or gestures. You simply inhabit your body fully, and from that state, your movements become congruent, your posture aligns, your gestures carry meaning. People sense this. They feel the authenticity. They trust it. Many people misunderstand body language as a way to manipulate perception. They believe that if they move their hands a certain way, hold eye contact for a specific duration, or stand in a specific posture, they will be seen as confident or powerful. But manipulation creates stress. It disconnects you from the truth of your experience. Instead of being in the moment, you're in your head, constantly evaluating whether you're doing it right. This internal pressure makes your body stiff, your face unnatural, your energy anxious. You're not communicating confidence. You're broadcasting discomfort. But when you shift your focus from performance to presence, everything begins to change. Instead of thinking about how you look, you begin to feel how you are. You begin to trust that your body knows how to express itself when you're not trying to control it. You become more relaxed, more fluid, more open. Presence doesn't mean you always feel calm or certain. It means you are in contact with yourself even when you feel unsure. That contact is what others perceive as confidence. Developing this level of awareness takes practice. It requires slowing down and paying attention, not just during high-stakes moments, but in everyday life. How do you sit when you're waiting? How do you walk when you're late? How do you listen during a conversation? These moments reveal your patterns. Maybe you fidget when nervous, shrink your posture when uncertain, or rush your words when trying to impress. These are not problems to fix, but signals to understand. The more you observe without judgment, the more choices you have. Awareness also involves noticing the space around you. Being present means being aware not only of your inner state, but also of your environment and the people within it. You begin to notice how your presence affects others and how their energy affects you. You begin to sense the rhythm of interaction, the pauses, the gestures, the silent cues. This sensitivity allows you to connect more deeply. You're not just performing, you're engaging. You're listening with your whole body. You're responding with your whole self. Another dimension of mastering body language through awareness is breath. Your breath is a mirror of your state. When you're anxious, it becomes shallow. When you're grounded, It deepens. By tuning into your breath, you reconnect with the present moment. A deep breath before speaking, a pause before responding, these are simple acts, but they create space. In that space, presence grows. Your words come from a centered place. Your gestures become extensions of your meaning rather than distractions from your fear. Stillness is also a powerful part of presence. In a world full of noise and constant movement, stillness communicates strength. It says, I am not in a rush to prove myself. I am here, and that is enough. When you are aware of your body and grounded in presence, you no longer feel the need to fill every silence, to over-explain, or to exaggerate. Your body speaks clearly. Even in silence, your energy communicates more than your words. You don't chase attention, you attract it by being fully aligned. Over time, this practice rewires your nervous system. Situations that once triggered insecurity begin to feel manageable. You no longer rely on rehearsed strategies to feel in control. You carry your presence with you. You trust it. You begin to move through life with a quiet confidence, not because you never feel awkward or afraid, but because you've built the awareness to remain present in those moments. That is true mastery. What people often seek through body language, respect, influence, connection, becomes a natural byproduct of presence. You don't need to chase these outcomes. You simply need to return to yourself again and again. The way you enter a room, the way you stand, the way you look someone in the eyes. It all flows from how deeply you are connected with your own center. If you are with yourself, others will be drawn to you. If you are fragmented inside, no amount of technique will create lasting impact. Presence cannot be faked. It can only be cultivated. And every moment of awareness, whether it's noticing your posture, softening your breath, or choosing to pause instead of rush, is a step toward that cultivation. It's a lifelong practice, not a quick fix. But with each step, you begin to reclaim your body as an ally rather than a source of stress. You begin to trust that your body knows how to support you when your mind becomes quiet. In this space of presence, your body language becomes an authentic expression of who you are. You don't need to impress. You don't need to prove. You simply need to be. And that is where your true power lies. Not in how others see you, but in how completely you are with yourself. This is the essence of mastering body language through awareness. It is not about performance. It is about presence.